Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today we are doing a hotly requested topic. We have had requests for this on Instagram, on Patreon, on YouTube, so I am giving you what you want. We are doing forward outside edge rockers today. There are forward outside, forward inside, backward inside, a lot of different ones to work on. So today we're tackling the first one you should learn, forward outside. Now before you do rockers, you should know how to do both your forward 3 turns, your backward 3 turns, your forward brackets, your backward brackets, your forward counters, and your backward counters. So the rocker is the last of those fancy 1-foot turns that you are going to be learning. So let's make sure you understand what a rocker is. So a rocker is a turn that rotates into the circle that you're starting on. It's going to switch circles, but it's going to stay on the same edge and stay on the same foot. So it's a 1-foot turn, switches circles, but stays on the same edge. Now that's very similar to a counter, but a rocker is going to turn into your starting circle and a counter is going to turn out of your starting circle. So if you've already learned your counters, you should understand what that means. So we're going to start here on this red circle, okay? And we're going to start on our left outside edge because we're going to do forward outside rockers today. So I'm going to go around this red curling circle here on the ice, and I'm going to be facing in. I want you to think about rockers as starting like a 3-turn. So how a 3-turn faces in to the circle as you do the motion, the rocker is going to do the same thing where it faces in. So you're rotating your upper body against your lower body. Okay, so I'm not square, I'm crossing myself. So I'm twisted in the core. If you have a tight core, you might want to do some limbering up exercises before you get going. So we're going to start on that left outside edge, right hand in front, left hand in back. You're going to push that left hand down behind you a little bit to give you some stability on your circle. You're going to push onto that outside edge. Now, your foot's going to go forward to put you on that circle and then come in. It's a little bit of an odd motion, so you can practice that all by itself. So as you're going into this forward rocker, you want to be pushing down into the ice as you are on your outside edge. And then you're going to lighten up when it's time to turn. So we do that with a 3-turn, but it's even more important with a rocker. So we're going to press down, and then as our foot comes in, we're going to lift. Okay, so what we can practice is pressing and lifting, and think about that motion going down and lift and press. So if you think about pressure, you're pressing, you're lifting, and then you're pressing again. So the turn is the lightest part. We have the least pressure on our foot. We need some so we don't accidentally jump, but we want it to be light, like we're lifting our body weight off of our feet, okay? So as we go into this motion, we have our hands pressing down on that circle. We're cross-rotated with our upper body, so we're facing our circle. We're going to press down and lift. Okay, so that is the entrance to this rocker. The exit is going to be going on our outside edge. So we're leaning on our outside edge towards our baby toe as we go in, but then we have to keep that outside edge pressure as we exit. So after the turn, we're going to be gliding in a position like this. Okay, so my upper body is facing away from my circle. I'm pushing really hard with my right hand to keep me rotated and balanced. So I'm pushing down onto my circle. My hips are still somewhat forward, but they need to be open so that I can check that leg behind me. So I'm in this open position where my upper body is rotating with my back towards the circle and my upper body away from the circle. I'm here, okay? So what I suggest is you practice that position all by itself because controlling the second edge of a rocker is tough. So I want you to practice gliding with your back facing the circle, your left hand pressed down, your shoulders over your hips, and your leg turned behind you, okay? You're going to practice that around and around and around. So again, we're going to practice this motion around the circle. We're going to open our shoulders up and tuck our free foot behind us. You want to keep from popping those hips out and dropping your shoulders forward. You don't want to have your hip drop into the circle. You want to keep those hips tucked right under your body so that the pressure is in your knee and your quads, not through your hips. Okay? Once you can control this position, you can do a rocker. Now I'm going to give you a little trick. Another skill you can practice that helps with your rockers. It'll also help with some Choctaws. So this move is a backward outside pivot. It's one of my favorite moves. I've done a whole tutorial on it. I'll post a link down below to that back outside pivot tutorial, but it helps with your exit strength, that exit position. And this is something you want to practice on both legs so it helps both sides of your rockers. So what we're going to do is we're going to open our shoulders up, hit that outside edge, get down in our knees, put your toe in the ice behind you, and pivot around. Now, to do this properly, your toe should not be next to your free foot. It should be behind you, and that is where it's helpful for a rocker, because you want that foot to kind of tuck right behind you on your exit. So since it's already right there, tucked, you're going to drop onto that toe and pivot. So you can practice. Find that open check position, drop that toe down, and pivot. And that's a fun extra exercise that you can do to help both sides of your forward outside rockers. So let's put this entrance and that exit together into a nice rocker. We're going to hold that entrance on the red side. Okay, we're going to turn our toe in towards this red curling circle as a 3-turn would, but then we're going to switch and go onto the blue circle. So we're staying on our outside edge. To do that, you have to lead with your heel in the turn. So we're going to face in, pull forward, rise up, flip the heel around, and then we're getting into that exit position we just practiced. I want you to think about your heel. Let's get back into the correct position here. So you're coming in on your forward outside edge. Okay, so we're facing that circle, and this skating leg, our left leg, is on our forward outside edge. When it's time to turn, I want you to think about taking your heel and moving your heel to your back outside edge. Okay, so otherwise you're gonna probably turn halfway and clumsily stumble out of this turn. Okay, it's happened to all of us, it's fine. But forewarning, you want to take your heel and flip that outside edge. You get pressure back on that back outside of your blade. You're going to lift up over your toe and flip to the back outside of your blade on the other side. And this is led by the heel. So we're going to face in, press, rise up, flip the heel around, and that'll help you get onto the other circle. So we touched a little bit on the upper body when we were talking about that pivot position, that exit position, how you want to keep your hips under control. This is important throughout the whole thing, but part of what we're going to do is think about controlling our upper body. So we have a check going on, and that's going to somewhat help your hips. So we want to think about bending in the knees, controlling the hips, and checking the upper body. So we have 3 different areas that need to stay in control for your feet to be able to do their job. So we're facing in. Okay, really strong. I have pressure in my left hand, that back hand. Keep your hands well below your shoulders, okay? We do not want them coming up really high. They could be shoulder height, but if they go above your shoulders, it's gonna be tipping your shoulders off the axis. You want to keep your weight over your skating foot. So, and if your hands lift above your shoulders, you're sending your weight off of your skating foot. So they can be shoulder height or lower. I'll like personally mine a little bit lower because it helps you press down onto that circle and maintain control, but having them shoulder height is pretty, so whatever you're able to control is fine as long as it's below your shoulders. So we are facing hard into the inside circle, into that red circle, the circle you're starting on. I am pressing down with my left hand. Just before I turn, I'm going to start rotating my upper body, and then I'm letting my lower body follow, okay? And now I'm pressing down with my left hand. my right hand there, so my leading hand. There are some people that will teach you to turn at the same exact moment as your rocker is happening. That's fine. I find it's a little bit harder to control, especially when you're learning rockers. It's easier to move your arms just before and then let the lower body follow. It's very subtle, but for me, it works better to start with the arms and then a split second later, follow with my lower body. So we're gonna check a moment before you turn. So we face in. Just before I turn, I'm gonna start my arms moving, and that will kind of set me up so I have a strong upper body foundation for that lower body to follow me around on that outside edge on my exit. All right, so I've given you a lot of little tidbits on these rockers. It's a lot to take in. So keep in mind, rocker, you turn into the circle you're starting on like a 3-turn. We're switching circles, we're staying on the same edge. So for this forward outside edge rocker, we're starting on that outside edge going forward, ending on that outside edge going backward on the other circle. We're starting with our upper body facing the circle we're starting on and our upper body away from the circle that we're ending on, okay? So we're completely flipping the direction of our body. All right, let's put this all together. So press down, reach, check, flip that foot, and then you're gonna hit that nice outside edge, shoulders over hips, nice bouncy knee. All right, practice it over and over and over again, and be nice to yourself because these are a tough turn and it's gonna take some time. Now let's try it on the other foot. So now we have our right foot on that circle, so we're gonna do a right forward outside rocker. I'm again facing that inside edge, so I'm facing my starting circle, that red circle. I'm gonna push, I'm gonna press down, reaching forward, check, and then we're hitting that outside edge on the exit. Again, we can practice some pivots on this side to get that knee behind us, get those hips open. So we're facing in, get that strong twist in the torso, pressure down into the outside edge, lift up, flip that heel around, pressure into the back outside of the heel, and there is your right forward outside rocker. All right, skaters, I hope you enjoyed that rocker tutorial. I know so many of you have been asking for it for a long time. They are a tricky turn, so practice it, be patient with yourself, and it will come. And again, if you want to learn the 2-foot version, we're working on those over on Patreon this week, so you can hop over there and see the 2-foot version of both forward and backward rockers. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it that thumbs up. And as always, I'm looking forward to reading all your comments in that section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell down in the corner so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.